Kickers are essential to the NFL today. The Steelers know that as well as anyone. The lows of Chris Boswell's 2018 season, the bounce back he had a year ago. But there was a time in the league's earliest days where kickers were an afterthought. The game wasn't nearly as refined, rosters were half the size. Having specialists like kickers didn't make sense. But for 2 seasons, 1933 and 1934, the Pittsburgh Steelers had Christian Kelsch. Everyone called him Mose, and he was football's first kicker. Born in 1897, he was a sandlot player. An orphan, he never attended college, quipping he went to the school of hard knocks instead. In fact, the Steelers media guide gets this fact wrong. Flips the roster history, and next to college they list Christian, which was his name, not where he went to school. Kelsch knew the chief, Art Rooney, and grew up playing for his Western PA teams, clubs like the Majestic Radios, J.P. Rooney's, and others until Rooney bought an NFL franchise in 1933. Kelsch grew up as a lineman, a lead blocker in those run-centric days of football, but by the time he joined the Steelers, originally called the Pittsburgh Pirates, his age and weight were on the rise. 36 years old and tipping the scales at 225 pounds, making him one of the team's biggest players, he couldn't run and block like he used to, but he could still kick, so Pittsburgh made him a kicker. Kelsch is responsible for notching the game-winning point in the franchise's first ever win, a 14-13 comeback over the Chicago Cardinals in 1933, nailing the extra point following Paul Moss's 11-yard touchdown. Weeks later, he hit the game-tying field goal against Brooklyn in a 3-3 stalemate. That year, Kelsch would make 2 extra points and 3 field goals. He was arguably the first fan favorite in Steelers history, crowds cheering him on whenever he walked onto the field. Kelsch returned in 1934 as the team's kicker, but in a reduced role. Armin Nikolai was the team's primary kicker. Kelsch recorded just 1 field goal and a pair of extra points. Tragically, at age 38, he was killed in a car crash in July 1935. Kelsch was hit by a former teammate of his, Edward Jackson. Hundreds attended his funeral, including Rooney, who served as a pallbearer. Kelsch may seem like just a footnote of Steelers history from long ago. It might be unfair to say he ushered in a wave of kickers, but for 2 seasons, he was football's pioneer.